Hello and thank you for stopping by. In today's video we'll be replacing a battery on the 2013 Chevy Malibu. In a previous video I ended up testing this battery and it ended up failing really bad. So to begin we'll start by removing this battery cover, which we gotta press in on this tab here on this little corner as we pull up and slide off the remaining hooks on the bottom. Now we can disconnect the battery negative so we can safely do the rest. For both of the battery terminals we'll be using a 10mm socket. Next we want to unhook this tab for the battery positive cover. I'm using a pick to do this, but it can be done with even your fingernail. And now we can loosen the battery positive. Next we can unhook this clip for the larger cover. And now we could just pull up here on the side and the cover should just pop up. Now we can completely disconnect the battery positive cable. Next we want to slide the strap out of the way. Now we'll be using a 13mm socket to remove these two nuts to move these cables out of the way. Now we want to unhook this assembly off of the battery by using a screwdriver to pop the tab from the battery. Now that we got one side unhooked, we can lift up and push back on the assembly to get the opposite end off. Now we can just set it out of the way so we can replace the battery. Now we can remove the battery hold down bracket using a 13mm socket. And once you get the clamp removed, you can now remove the battery. And we'll be using the same original AC Delco battery. We can now go ahead and install the new battery. And now we can install the battery hold down clamp. And you want to tighten it as much as you can by hand before using a ratchet. And now we can just use a ratchet to finish off tightening the bolt. We can now remove these battery terminal covers if you have them. We can now go ahead and install this fuse box battery terminal assembly. We want to make sure that it clips onto the battery and that the strap is also pulled through. We can now slide the strap back on and reconnect the wires. And we can now snug them up using a ratchet. And we can now go ahead and reconnect the battery positive terminal. And you want to make sure that you tighten it as well. You want to check and make sure that the connections are all tight before snapping on the cover. And we can now go ahead and reconnect the negative terminal. Before reinstalling the final cover, you want to start the vehicle to make sure that everything works as it should. And yes, it looks like everything is back to normal. And we can now go ahead and reinstall the final cover. And that just about does it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing.